A vast majority of people who start new businesses go door to door looking for business. Even very well established entrepreneurs will frequently go out to look for business. I think you've heard that expression. I'm going out to look for business. That is how most people do business. And it is very hard work. And mostly it does not work. That is why so many people who tune into this channel are puzzled when they hear us talking about a system, for generating a constant flow of customers. It sounds far-fetched. It sounds a dream. It sounds impossible. It sounds too good to be true, especially to those established business persons and entrepreneurs who have always been doing things the way they're doing them. And they're used to that. They're used to the hard work. They're used to the rejection. They're used to seeing so many people in a day. So when I start talking about a system, which should be easier and more effective, they say no, that can't be true. Well, it is. It's not a theory, it's practical. I have done it. Indeed, I've done it for very many clients, and it has succeeded. Now, I find it very interesting that even very large companies, blue chip companies, still engage in door-to-door sales. There's a very prominent, leading, extremely profitable Kenyan company, which everybody knows, that has a habit of sending people door-to-door frequently. They do this through their agents, and distributors. In fact, the other day, I met one such salesperson. She was seated at a corner, looking very bored. And then once in a while, when people pass, she'd stop them and tell them, oh, I'm from Safaricom, I'm selling this and that and that. She even stopped me very recently. Now, in my view, door-to-door sales is a lottery. You will see about 30 people, one person will be interested, one person will buy. For that to happen, you'll have walked the whole day in the cold or in the hot sun. Very tiring, and even if you're not scared of hard work, my question is this the most productive way to spend your valuable time? On a lottery? Now I'm going to illustrate to you why door-to-door sales does not work. And I'm going to illustrate it with a very good example I'm sure you'll never forget. You're a young man, or even an old man, and you're looking for a wife to marry. Would you stand at a street corner and wait for any beautiful woman to pass around? You'd look at her and say, she's strong enough to be the mother of my children. And then you'd approach her and ask her, I'm so and so, will you marry me? I'd like to marry you. Now, first of all, you'll be lucky not to receive a slap. Nobody would take you seriously. In fact, some women would feel pity for you, thinking you've lost your mind. Now, let's try and improve that scenario. You go to a social place where there are many ladies. Of course, they've come out to socialize. And of course, many of them have it at the back of their minds. Socialize, find a special man, and one day get married. So you think you're going to improve your odds? I don't think so. Now, why does this fail? Because the reason why it fails is the reason why door-to-door sales does not work. Well, the reason is, most people want to, wait for this one, build a relationship before they can consider marriage. Now, it is precisely the same in business. People want to build a relationship before they can consider buying. Now, I can hear somebody telling me, no, Chris, you're wrong. Door-to-door sales works. I do it every day and it works. I get customers. Well, I'll answer that, and let's go back to my illustration. If you ask enough women to marry you, maybe 200 or 300, whatever the number is, you'll find one that will say yes. Assuming that she's not high on something, let's take this further. So she says yes, and so you get married. You know absolutely nothing about her, and she knows absolutely nothing about you. And secondly, and even more important, you do not know the motive she had for saying yes. Bottom line, that marriage will not work. So back to door-to-door sales. Fine, You're getting your one customer or a few customers, handful of customers for very hard work. But at the end of the day, because you're spending your whole day going door to door, you're spending so much time, resources, you're using some form of transport to get to where you're going to sell door to door. There are costs involved. And so for it to be profitable to you, you need a long-term relationship with the customer you get. And just like in the marriage example I've given or illustration, the chances of this happening are very, very minimal. The odds are against you. So the big question here is, what do you do instead of door to door? Now I'm about to give you a secret so powerful that if you're a hard-working person who normally goes door to door, you're going to revolutionize your sales. With this minor adjustment, you can move from pennies and cents to millions in sales very easily and very quickly. And I've already given you a hint. I'm sure you know what it's about. It's about building a relationship before you sell. Now, before I tell you what the big secret is, let me also emphasize yet another psychological reason why door-to-door sales is bound to fail. If you don't build a relationship first. And it is this. Let me just give you my personal story. One day, we lost the nail cutter at home. So we needed a new nail cutter. So I was sent by my wife and told, make sure when you come back from work, you come with a nail cutter. First day and second day, you know what happened? I forgot. I totally forgot. I got so engrossed in what I was doing and I forgot. So on the third day, I met somebody in the streets who was selling nail cutters. They approached me, and the minute I showed interest, because I started looking at the selection they had, because I needed a nail cutter, and the minute they saw I have some interest, gosh, they're all over me. And I started feeling very uncomfortable. Yes, I needed the nail cutter, but then I started asking myself, what about if this guy is selling fake things? Yes, a nail cutter is very cheap, but I don't know this person. What about if these nail cutters are stolen? What if these nail cutters are factory rejects they're trying to get rid of? And I did not buy. And I walked for another very long distance downtown to another shop. And I asked 3 or 4 times before I finally identified the shop which was selling nail cutters. And I purchased my nail cutter in a shop. Now, a quick aside here, in case you didn't know. A lot of people who sell door-to-door give customers ideas of how they're going to buy somewhere else. You show them the product, they're interested, they won't buy from you, but you've given them an idea. Immediately you leave, they'll go online, they'll call somewhere, or they'll walk out and buy it somewhere else. In other words, you're advertising for your competitors. That's really what it is. Anyway, from the story I've just given you, you should know this about human nature. Immediately a strange person approaches you, trying to sell you something, there's a defensive wall that comes up automatically, that is very difficult to penetrate. And that is just one of the many things, the defensive wall. It's just one of the many things that makes it so difficult to succeed in door-to-door sales. So on to the secret. And I will give you 2 examples. They're very practical because I've implemented them for various clients very successfully. Okay? Method number 1. You go out and you do a survey, or a poll. You are not selling at this stage. All you're doing is gathering information. And this can work for any business you can think of. But let's take an example of you're selling shirts. So you write down the questions in advance, and what you're asking them is, where do you normally buy your shirts? What kind of shirts do you like? Who chooses shirts for you? Is it you or your wife? Now, I apologize because I don't sell shirts, so I don't know much about the customers for this kind of business. But if you're in the business of selling shirts, you'll have a lot of information that will guide you in constructing this questionnaire. And if you're very new to the business, it's a brand new business you've started, you've never sold shirts before, but you've imported a whole container of shirts, and now you want to sell them, do some research. And then you still go out door to door, but this time you're not selling. You're gathering information. And of course, very important for your survey, you should get the name of the person and their telephone contact. And I suggest that those questions should be at the bottom of your list, not at the top. Yeah, because when you approach somebody, you have to break the ice first, introduce yourself, tell them to relax, you're not trying to sell them anything. Yeah, then introduce yourself, tell them I'm from such and such a company. We are doing a survey, yeah, research to find out about the habits of people concerning the purchase of shirts. One common question will be asked is, what is this research for? Be honest. Say, we're trying to find the best way of serving our customers. We have no idea what they like and what they don't like. And please, I would request that you assist us, yeah, because from the data we collect from this research, we'll be able to do a better job. And it is allowed to ask them questions which are not in the questionnaire, yeah, because in most cases they'll not see your questionnaire. And even if they do, you can still ask them other questions. Yeah, for instance, you could like the shirt he's wearing. So you ask him, oh, I like your shirt. Where did you buy it? And if they give you a name, I suggest you go to that shop and do a lot of research. Now, at the end of the day, you'll have information. You'll not have sold a single shirt, yeah, but you will have something much more valuable than selling. You will have built a relationship, yeah, with a list of potential customers. Number two, you'll have very valuable information that will help you sell much more effectively. You know what people like, what people don't like. Number three, you've built a relationship with your prospective customers who can refer you to other customers tomorrow or even immediately. Yeah. So when you work with a list of potential customers whom you have already built a relationship with, the whole game changes. The odds change dramatically in your favor. Now, my recommendation is that you do this for 2 or 3 days before you actually attempt to sell. Why? Well, imagine a situation whereby you came to me yesterday, yeah, you were doing some research, then the next day you're back in my office selling me something. Sounds corny, doesn't it? So after 2 or 3 days, you approach the same customers, yeah, and this time you know exactly how to talk to that customer. You know a lot about them. You know what they like, what they don't like. You have a much better chance of selling. Let alone that, there's something else even much more valuable. Even if they don't buy when you approach them, you have developed a relationship. You have them on your database of customers. Yeah, you can always look them up next month or the other month. Yeah, you'll have an endless list of potential customers, leads, which can be changed into sales at any time, even if not tomorrow, even if not next week, next month. But you have some who are purchasing immediately. Yeah, so don't say that next month is a long way off. Don't say you're going to starve by the time next month comes. Yeah, you already have a list. Some will buy immediately, some will buy tomorrow, some will buy next week. It'll give you an endless flow, yeah, a constant flow of customers, plenty of customers. Method number 2 is even more effective. You go door to door giving away samples. Now, there's something very important to note here. You don't just give away your samples to everybody. You must give away your samples to people you have identified as potential customers. Only potential customers. Now, I've done a video before where I gave the example of somebody who was selling solar panels. Yeah, and out of every 3 installations they did, they sold 1 system. This simple technique helped this company, which still exists today, to grow into one of the biggest companies in Kenya dealing with solar energy. Now, I'm just quickly reminding you of that example, yeah, so as to prove to you that giving away samples can work for virtually any kind of business you can think of. You just have to be creative and find a sample that will be valuable to the customer and will cost you next to nothing. You have to be very careful with samples because there are samples you can give that will just make you lose money. You will not gain. But there's another kind of sampling that would get you so much sales you'd not be able to handle. Indeed, the topic of samples is something that deserves 10 to 20 videos separately done only on giving away samples. But you can also do your research. Look for examples of companies that have used samples successfully. And then copy the ideas. Yeah, but let's stick on topic. Yeah, we are dealing with door-to-door sales. And I've just given you the second example of adjusting your door-to-door sales so that it revolutionizes your sales and indeed your bank account balance. So don't do door-to-door sales, adjust to this very advanced system that actually works. Now before I go, I've had a few inquiries from some of you asking me if I can help them out with their businesses. Most of them have read the books we're promoting on this channel. Yeah, you can see all the information on your screen right now about how to get those books and how to get the special offer of free advertising on this channel. Anyway, most of those people have read both books and they're very excited. Yeah, but then they're also very eager for me to apply myself directly to their very unique problem, very unique business. Now, after consultations with my colleagues, I've accepted to do this. Yeah, but naturally, because I don't have time, I will do a very limited number of persons at a time, 1 or 2 every week, so that I also do a good job and make sure they get results. So all you need to do is drop me an email using the email address that you see for ordering books. Use the same email. Yeah, contact me, tell me what the problem is in your business, and then I'll be able to get back to you and see if we can fit you in. Yeah. Now to avoid disappointment, I've already told you I have very limited time on this. So to avoid disappointment, you'd better do it fast so that you're at the top of the list of the businesses I will do immediate consultancy for. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm sure many of us can do it on their own. Yeah, you can do it yourself by simply getting the very valuable information, yeah, which is available in the books you see in front of your screens right now, which we're promoting on this channel. They can be in your inbox in seconds and they'll completely change things for you, like they've done for so many others already. $25 or Kenya shillings 2,500 is nothing. And yet what you can gain can be millions. Yeah, it can completely change your business, remove you from that situation whereby you have to agonize and just generally sweat blood and tears before you get a single customer, to a situation where you have plenty of them. Yeah, or if you're not in business, they'll assist you to successfully start a business and virtually eliminate any chances of you failing. Starting a business is not easy, yeah, but then with this package available here, it becomes very easy and your chances of success become extremely high. I would say guaranteed, except that it also involves you, yeah, and how serious you are. But assuming that you choose the right business and you're serious and you have the right capabilities, it is guaranteed, yeah, with this information. Your success is guaranteed. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.